All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk again about Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, and the fight that's going on, and rumors circulating that although Terence Crawford has agreed to some, or Errol Spence Jr. has bent for Terence Crawford, that Terence Crawford is trying to make Errol Spence Jr. break in the negotiations. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are in the 147-pound division again today, talking about the fight that everybody wants to see get made, and that is the fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. And it looks like, at least from now, not sources that have come directly from me, but other conversations that have been going on in the boxing world, that Terence Crawford is still playing hardball with Errol Spence Jr. in the PBC, and is asking for things that may very well make it difficult to make the fight. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber, thank you so much for your support. If you're a new subscriber, if you're a new viewer to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. We have basically live streams every day. We have great conversations in boxing that take place, every day between the live streams and the videos. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can check them out and participate. All right, so word came out maybe about a week ago that about some demands that Terence Crawford was making for the fight. Now, this is all reportedly, right? Nobody from internally in either camp are either confirming or denying these particular things, which is that Terence Crawford was asking for $20 million guaranteed and a 50-50 split of the pay-per-views. Now, that is going to be, as far as making the fight, is going to be a non-starter. That is what you call pricing yourself out of a fight, because you know that you've never, first of all, there's not that much money in the fight. Second of all, to ask for 50-50 when you are like not the real main revenue driver behind the fight is just something that, would strike people as being pretty, just a little bit over the top, right? So word came out last week that Terence Crawford had agreed to that now these are all sources coming out of Texas, right, who are not far from Errol Spence Jr.'s camp. Most of these people are closely enough associated with people where they can get valid leaks. So I don't think it's anything that people should just brush off as if, as if there's no support for these things, right? So report came out that Errol agreed to 55-45 split. Now, however, it seems as if although he agreed to that split, that demand for the money, for a lot of upfront guaranteed money, is still there. Now, the problem with that is that Steven Espinoza, who is from Showtime, would be paying the guarantee. Now, note, as far as the pay-per-view splits and all of that, I'm not sure that Showtime specifically, Steven Espinoza, who runs that program over there, would be as concerned about the pay-per-view split, because his costs are going to come out of that, right? What the cost to pay for that is going to come out of it before those guys get their split. That's just what it is. Now, and his prime motivation is not making money for Showtime through pay-per-view sales. It is by getting additional subscribers to his network and keeping that subscriber count and keeping that participation of his subscribers going, right? So, but his issue is going to be the one of the guaranteed money, right? Now, the guaranteed money is going to be guaranteed by somebody. Most of that, a good portion of that, is going to be guaranteed by the network that is putting that on, which is Showtime, right? Now, I'm sure you also could get a site fee. You could get some type of, maybe some money from like the MGM Grand or whoever they put it on may pay to have that fight there. I know casinos sometimes put money towards those fights. I do believe that the that the stadiums, however, charge money. So, but I'm not an expert in that area. However, I do know that Steven Espinoza himself said that right now they were in negotiations, and the problem was that people were looking for Mayweather type of money, right? And he is not going to pay Mayweather type of money for that fight. So as far as what the guarantees are, that is not going to be something that Errol Spence Jr. can agree to or not agree to him on himself. Himself. That's gonna have to come from the network. So if Terence Crawford is telling Showtime, in essence, telling Showtime, look, I need $20 million, before I take this fight, that's not going to happen, because Showtime, first of all, is not convinced they convinced that it's a big fight. But like you said, but is it a Mayweather Pacquiao type of fight? No. And in talking about other fights like Keith Thurman versus Jaron Ennis, they were like, look, man, that's going to be a very expensive fight to make. Like, they probably could, the going price for Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman is not going to fight for less than $6-7 million, right? Because he's and that's real money for him, because he's a real attraction. He's proven that in the past, and all of the fights that he's had so far have been big, right? So he's not going to fight for less than that. And then Jaron Ennis, right, who is a developing star, I'm not sure what the guarantee is from him, but they're like, hey, man, I don't know if we can make that right now. That eventually may have to be, a pay-per-view fight. And as far as the model of pay-per-view and how they've been doing that over there at Showtime, their model for pay-per-view has been to offset the costs so they don't have to pay as high a guarantee, and people will wind up making their money on the back end, which makes the fight more affordable for the network and allow them to put more good fights on, with high skill fighters that want to get paid well, and just trust that that the core 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 people are going to buy those pay-per-views that are, that are Showtime, reliable Showtime subscribers. And those guys have the stats on what that is. So, but Terence Crawford asking for $20 million is going to be a non-starter, man. And more than likely, him asking for any particularly high guarantee is going to be a problem, because they're going to look back and say, man, look, dude, you've lost. The fights that you've done on pay-per-view just historically have not produced that type of revenue for us to even really to take that chance. So we're going to be able to break even. We'll be able to break even off the pay-per-view. So I don't know, man. I hope what they're saying is incorrect. Now, I also heard that they wanted to announce that they really do want to announce this fight in July, around 4th of July time, that's when they're looking to announce it. Now, that if they're looking to announce it around that time, that means they're probably looking to announce their schedule for the back half of the year, including, like Adrian Bronner and who he's going to fight, Keith Thurman. We already have Danny Garcia fighting Jose Benavidez. Right. So that stuff is starting to pick up for the second half of the year. I just hope Terence Crawford just comes and is a little bit. I just hope he's reasonable in the amount of guarantee that he's asking for, so the fight can get made. Because again, that's not on Errol Spence Jr. to do. That is on Showtime, and Showtime is going to be a lot less bendy than Errol Spence Jr. it would be, because it doesn't mean that much to them. What means that much to them is those guys staying on budget and making their metrics for the year, so that their higher ups look at what they're doing and think, yeah, man, you're doing what we asked you to do. But anyway, that's my take on the situation. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.